Okay, let's talk about the sixth question from this past paper. It says, by making suitable approximations, estimate the value of this thing. We need to estimate the value of this thing by making suitable approximations. Show clearly the approximations you use. Now, I have been telling you guys already, this question is totally up to you. You need to round off the numbers. You can round them off as much as you want. Like you can round them off to one significant figure. If you want more accurate answer, you can round the numbers to two significant figures. Ideally, just round it off to one significant figure and make things easier for yourselves. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, now let me just fix my pen. Okay, we need to approximate this entire thing. For that, I need to round off all the numbers. So what I'll be doing is, since it says show clearly the approximations you use, so 3.98 can be rounded off to 4. I'm using these curly equal to sign just to you know show rounding off. I'm sorry, I have to go back and forth because some students I'm joining late. This was a demo for a lot of students, that's why it's happening this way, but it's okay. Anyways, 3.998 can be written as 4. Then the next number is 602.3. I need to round it off to one significant figure, means I need to look at this digit. For this digit, I need to look at the second digit, right? The second digit is 0. This is less than 5. So this can be written as 600 directly, okay? And the last number is 2.987. So I can round it off to, I am looking at this number because one significant figure only. The number after 2 is 9. 9 is certainly greater than 5. Whenever the next digit is greater than 5, we add 1 to the previous one and it would become 3. For those who have just joined, we are basically just revising a past paper question in order to revise some old concepts that we have just discussed. We have discussed estimation. And in estimation, we talked about significant figures and rounding off and all that content. So we had to approximate the value of this thing. And in order to do that, we need to round off all these three numbers. So 3.98, where it would be rounded off to one significant figure, it would become 4. 602.3, when it would be rounded off to one significant figure, it would become 600. And 2.987. One significant figure means either it would be 2 or 3, but since the number after 2 is greater than 5, so it would become 3. Okay. Now I am again going to write down the entire thing using these approximated numbers. So square root 4 multiplied by 600 divided by 3. Now 3 is 1 times 3 and 3 is 200 times 600. Root 4 would become 2. So 2 multiplied by 200 is going to give you 400, and this is going to be the answer. Now it could be that Kabir's answer is different, Urva's answer is different, Ariba's answer is different. That is fine. This is why the examiner has asked you to clearly write down the approximations you use, because obviously if some of you is converting these numbers to two significant figures, your answer would be more accurate, right? So your answers can be different, and for such questions, do not follow the marking scheme. In the marking scheme, you would get to see a range of answers, and all those answers are acceptable as long as they are coming in that range. Okay. All right. So this was the first question. Okay. All right. So it's perfect. So in the marking scheme, the answer is 400, 401, 401.3, and so on, right? So it totally depends upon you guys. Okay, this was the first question. Any confusions in this one, please ask me. Those who have just joined, obviously it could be that you guys are not clear with the idea, with the concept. You feel free to ask me anything that you have in your minds.
It's okay, ma'am.
Okay, Abdullah and Ariba, are you guys okay with this concept?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Hmm.
that means that unless there is no significant value specified, we can
Very
like
good. Yes, well
do
done.
it to
Excellent.
our own method.
Bilkul, 100% correct, since the examiner just said by making suitable approximations. Okay, so it's completely your choice, and ideally, and most of the times, we will be just, converting every number to one significant figure, because that would be easy for us as well, right? Because would come in P1, and in P1, calculators are not allowed, right? So this would make more sense this way. Very well done. Very good point. Yes, that's correct. Okay. So, Urva, anything that you would like to ask here? Please take your time, as much time as you need. You can ask me. You can see that I'm again and again talking about the previous past paper questions, because these are the, this is the base of maths. If you guys would not understand this concept, you guys would not be able to understand the new things we will be discussing. Okay. So I assume that this example and this question is clear. Let's talk about the next one now. Okay. Again, we have discussed sets, but I wanted to talk about this question because soon I will be taking the quiz in the next week. So I wanted to talk about some old, you know, uh, chapters in order to revise them, because after Eid you guys are coming. So I wanted to give a quick recap of whatever we have discussed. Okay. Acha. The question says, in the Venn diagram, shade the region which represents the subset A intersection B complement union C. Now, this thing itself is not easy, trust me. When I look at this question, even I don't know how to do it directly because it makes no sense to me. So how do we do it? We do it by the numbering or the naming idea, okay? I am going to just number or name different regions of the set. Let's just stick to naming, because at times numbers are already given. Naming would work better here. So this can be A, this can be small b, small c, small d, E, F, G, H. Okay. I have these many different parts of the set. So I've just named them using A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay. It's very simple. I've just named them. That's it. Okay. Achha. Now, what is it? It is the union of this thing and the union of this thing. Let's just break it into parts. Let's talk about A intersection B complement. Now, students, what do we have in the set A? Can anyone tell me what elements do we have in the set A? We have B, we have C, we have E, and we have F. I've just named a set and I'm writing down these elements. It's B, C, E, and F. Okay, I have these 4 elements in A. Can anyone tell me what elements do I have in B? First, we'll talk about B, then I will talk about B complement.
And D
Yes,
and G
very good. And we also have the C and
and C and F.
excellent. Very good. Okay, so C, D, F, G. This is what we have in B. And what about B complement? B complement has everything which is there in the universal set except the elements of B. Okay, so everything that is there in the universal set, let me just write down all the elements of the universal set. We have A, we have B, we have C, we have D, then we have E, F, G, and H. This is what we have in the universal set, but this is not B complement. I need to get rid of the elements of B. What do I have in B? I have C, I have D, I have F, and G. So these elements would not be coming in B complement. Those who are new, I'll just give you one definition of complement of a set and things would make sense. B complement is going to have every element of the universal set except the elements of B. So when I say every element of the universal set, it was A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And when I will exclude the elements of B, I would get A, B, E, H. Okay, so I am just going to erase this. C and D would be erased and F and G would be erased, and I am left with A, B, E, H. Okay, these are the elements which I am going to have. Let me write it down properly. E and H. All right. So A intersection, B complement. Can anyone tell me what elements do we have over here? It says intersection. When we have intersection, it means we will be talking about the common elements in both the sets. Set A and B complement. So what do we have in common? We have B in common. We have E in common, right? So we have B and E in common, right? B and E are coming common in both the sets A and B complement. So the elements are B and E. Okay, we are done with this one. Any confusions with A intersection B complement? Ask me again. You
No,
can ask
ma'am.
me 100 times. I would not
No,
mind.
ma'am.
Okay. Urva? No, Sherban?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay. I hope that you guys have understood this. The next part is the union of this thing with set C. Now I'll just erase B complement in A. The examiner would not give you any mark for this working. This is just for us, but this would certainly give you the correct answer. What is C? C has E, F, G, and H. Okay, now when we will talk about the union of both these sets, I am going to write down everything, and if anything is coming common, I'll just write that thing once only. So B, E, I have E here again, so I have just written E once. Then we have F, G, and H. I am now supposed to shade these regions and this would give me the correct answer. So we have B, we have E, we have F, we have G, and we have H. Yes, that is certainly correct. Okay. And once we are done with everything, you can just erase these and this would give you the correct answer. So I'll repeat this again and then it would make sense. Whenever the examiner would ask you to shade something, I know it's a 1 mark question, but most of the time students get this question wrong. And the strategy that we discussed while covering the contents was to just name or number the different regions of the set. I would prefer naming. When I say numbering, it was basically they're writing ABC, I'll write down 1, 2, 3. But ABC is better because at times, 1, 2, 3 is already there in the set, so it would just confuse you. Just name different parts of the set, write down A, write down B complement. We just calculated their intersection that turned out to be BE. Then we know what this would be set C. And here we have just, calculated the union and I've shaded the region B, E, F, G, H, and this is going to be the answer. Okay. So this would be the answer. I hope it is clear. We have already discussed these contents, but I could see that we had a lot of students for the demo class. And I don't know where the regular students gone today. Maybe they're still, busy with their Eids. Not sure. But yes, that is the idea. Okay. So let's talk about the second part of the question. In a group of 36 students, 23 study Spanish, 17 study French, 4 study neither Spanish nor French. By drawing a Venn diagram or otherwise, find the number of students who study both Spanish and French. Okay. All right. So this would be easy if we make the Venn diagram. Okay, let's just make the Venn diagram for this thing. So we have 2 circles and okay. One circle is for Spanish. The other circle is for French. This is the universal set. This is for French. This is for Spanish. Okay. Now, initially, I'll just, enter wrong values and then automatically it would make sense. So 23 study Spanish. Okay. 17 study French. Okay. And 4 study neither Spanish nor French. But if you add these entries, if you say that 4 plus 17 plus 23 this is going to be greater than 36. Just do that. 4 plus 17 plus 23. This is giving me 44. Now this 44 is certainly not the case. It means that we have some students which are studying both Spanish and French. How do I know that number? Okay, the total number of students is 36. 4 are taking neither French nor Spanish, and 17 are studying French, and 23 are studying Spanish. And this, out of this 17 and out of this 23, I have a number that is basically studying both French and Spanish. Now I know that the total number of students is 36, and this way I'm getting 44. So 44 minus 36 gives me 8. It means I need to get rid of 8 from this number. And how do I get rid of 8 from this number? I'll do that by writing down an 8 here and by subtracting 8 from 17. 17 minus 8 would give me 9, and 23 minus 8 would give me 15. So the number is basically 8. Why? Let me just explain this again. Okay. What do we know? Total number is 36. So when you will add all the contents of the universal set, it should give you 36. Okay. Now let's see if it's giving us 36 or not. We have 4. We have 9 taking French. We have 8 who are taking both French and Spanish. Now this 8 is not coming in 9. That 8 is separate. And then we have 15. And now when I will add it up, so 4 plus 9 would give me 13 plus 8 plus 15. And this number is certainly 36, and it is correct. But how did I do this? Okay. 23 were taking Spanish. Okay, 23 were taking Spanish. 17 were taking French. 4 were studying neither Spanish nor French. The total sum turned out to be 44. That was not right. I have 36 students in total. I had to find the difference, and the difference was 8. This 8 basically means I have 8 students which are taking French and Spanish. And initially, I just wrote 23 and 17. So that 8 was coming twice. Okay, I want that 8 to come once only. So I subtracted that 8 from 17. I subtracted that 8 from 23, and I've written that 8 over here. Okay, and now I can clearly see that the students who are taking both Spanish and French are 8. Yes. Are we clear with this question?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Urva
Yes,
Or-
ma'am.
and Nosharwan, please confirm.
It's clear.
Okay. All right. So I hope that this question is clear. Ariba, anything that you would like to ask over here?
No, ma'am, it's fine.
Okay, perfect. Okay, very good. So I hope that you guys are being honest with yourselves, and then you're telling me. I hope that it's clear. Okay, let's talk about another question. Okay, now question number 7 from another past paper says, by writing each number correct to one significant figure. Now, this is what Ariba was saying. This time around, the examiner has clearly mentioned that you need to write down every number to one significant figure first and then estimate the value of this thing. Okay. So when we are going to write every number to one significant figure, let's see what would be happening. The numbers are 29.2, 8.17, and 0.396. Okay. 29.2 when converted to one significant figure would become what? This number is 2.
Right.
Yes, very good. I need to focus on this number. So in order to change this number, I will be focusing on the number that is written after 2, that is 9. Now 9 is certainly greater than 5. So this would become 30. Okay, the next one is 8.17. When it says one significant figure, it would either be 8 or it would be 9. So 8.17 is certainly closer to 8. Okay, you can think about this idea in multiple ways. If I make a number line, This is 0, this is 8, and this is 9. Now imagine, let's just erase this 0 because this would not make sense this way. Okay, imagine we have, this is 8.17. Now 8.17 is certainly closer to 8, right? So when I'll round it off, it would become 8. And can anyone tell me what would be the case for this one?
Ma'am, it would be 0.40.
Very well done. Excellent. When I will convert 0.396 to one significant figure, I will be basically talking about this decimal place, and the next number is 9. It's greater than 5. The idea is again same. I would be adding 1 and it would become 0.4. So now I need to just rewrite this thing as 30 multiplied by 8 divided by 0.4. Now you are doing everything without calculator. So let me explain that as well. 3 multiplied by 8 would give you 24. And we have a 0, so it would become 240. And 240 divided by 0.4 would give you what? 240 divided by 0.4 can be written as 240 divided by 0.4, and I can write down 0.4 as 4 by 10, and I can write it down as 240.
Ma'am, it's
Is-
60.
Sorry, what is 60? Like 240 divided by 0.4?
Yes, ma'am.
It's 600. It's 600. Okay,
Oh,
you'll see
okay,
that.
okay, okay.
And
Okay, ma'am.
it would be 10 by 4. So this would become 2400 divided by 4, and now it's 1 times and it's 600 times, so it's going to be 600. Now if you guys were not able to understand this working, but still if you were getting 600, that's completely fine, because I can understand some students have, all the students have their own method of playing with the decimal number. So it's completely your choice. But if you guys have any questions with this method, please ask me. I'll give you a few seconds. Just go through this again. And still, if you were not able to understand anything, just feel free to ask me.
Ma'am, no questions.
Okay, very good. And I hope that all of you are clear with the idea. Today we have really less students, so I hope that it's fine then. Okay, anyways, let's talk about the next question. That's why I'm not going to the next chapter. Okay, let's talk about this because, past paper practice is equally, or I would say is more important, and we do have time, so it's okay. Okay, question number 10 of some paper says, and by the way, these papers are not from one past paper. I've just, picked up random questions from different past papers of the topics that we have covered already. Okay. Write 248.36 correct to 2 decimal places. Okay, now decimal places means this is 1 decimal place, this is 2 decimal places, and if I'm writing down a number on this position, it would be the 3rd decimal place. Okay, so this is the 1st decimal place. Then we have 2 decimal places here. Then if a number is of this type, then we have 3 decimal places. 1 number after decimal, 2 numbers after decimal, and 3 numbers after decimal. Okay, so 1 decimal place, 2 decimal places, and then we have 3 decimal places. All right. What is the number? The number is 248.367. When the examiner says 2 decimal places, he basically means we need to do something with this number. So either it would remain 6 or it would become 7. How do we decide that? By looking at the next number. The next number is greater than 5. So certainly the 6 would become 7, and I will write it as 248.37. This is going to be the number. All right, okay. Acha. The next part says correct to 2 significant figures. So 2 significant figures mean only till this number, okay? Number is 248.367 Two significant figures mean I need to look at this number. It is the second digit of the number. The number after this 8, after this 4 is 8. 8 is greater than 5 means that it would become 25. 25 or
No,
250.
250.
Very well done. Excellent. Okay. It would become 250 because yes, if we look at it this way, you would say 25, but that's not true. When I'm rounding off 248, it would become 250. And we have discussed significant figures. We know that 250 has two significant figures only. This 0 is not considered as a significant figure. So this would be the answer. Okay. Let's talk about the last part of this question. It says estimate correct to the nearest whole number, the value of this entire thing. Okay. Now you need to estimate the value of this entire thing, the nearest whole number. For this, it is completely your choice. Now, when it says nearest whole number, obviously calculators are not allowed. So you need to round off these two numbers first. And once you get the final answer, you need to round that off as well. Okay. So let's just solve this. It is cube root of 8.36 plus the cube root of 63.58. Now when I will round it off, 8.36 can be written as 9. No, as 8, right? Because 8.36 is closer to 8. Or another way of looking at it is, the next number is 3. 3 is less than 5, so the number would remain 8. So cube root of 8 plus it's 63, so it would become 64 because it is 0.5 and 5 is greater. Whenever we have 5 or any number greater than 5, this number would be changed, right? So it would become 64. It's cube root of 64. Okay, now we know that the cube root of 8 is 2. And what is the cube root of 64? It's 4, right? 4 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 4 gives you 64. So I know that cube root of 64 would be 4. And this is going to give you 6. So 6 would be the answer. So estimate correct to the nearest whole number. Now here they did not say that convert this number or this number to the nearest whole number. No, they just wanted an answer that is only a whole number. So for that, we just had to initially round off the two numbers and the final answer is automatically rounded off to the nearest whole number. So 6 would be the answer. Yes, any queries, any difficulties, anything that you were not able to understand here? Yes, Abdullah, Ariba, Kabir, Nosharwan, and Urva.
Understood, ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am.
Understood, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So this is basically the new topic. Okay. Or let me see if we have some. Okay. All right. So this was basically some discussion about what we have been discussing. Now we still have 10 minutes. So I will be taking out. First of all, let me stop the recording.